bang and a man in to Bunusi. Or you will be an BBI Pepana.
It's disturbing.
He doesn't let me talk.
Butchera, a hajun. And I want or be a penny, not offer BBI Fala. And I sing,
I petition the hagio.
are you a bed and a hajun? Say an Albert Bradia, and no fear for you, bro.
So when in the Akosu Fika.
Ayo manka enne da hoy entafuo bi ni omuse nenso omunka.
This guy is just mad.
Asembe pa na abantafuo yi enti omuase.
He came into my house dressed like me, imitating me. Me banamo. Oh no, ne ba me fear. I want to tell my brother.
Asemi asem kese na ebekwa kosisen.
OBRONI adi.
KWAME.
I'm a still character man.
Enna OBRONI KWAME.
Don't quite your idea.
Oni NDK movie production. Guy City Entertainment. Enna KY film. Eddie comedy. Papa ebremo. Na obeseria ma oyefuno ayewoya. Oni Charlotte Osei Ankara.
This time you have to let me talk.
Abena good.
Me pin you amedemano.
Miranda B.
And you've forgotten that should the world come to an end, it will end with you too.
Welcome back to another episode on the Lily Show. But going further, let me say a very big thank you to our sponsor, Kosharis Ghana Limited, for making this show a possible one. And today we are having one of our amazing person as an actor, as a director, and as a producer. And today we are having a wonderful person by Gian Luca Romeo, aka KWAME OBRONI, popularly known. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you too for calling me up.
Thank you. The truth is that this season will not end if we don't have you here. That's the truth.
Really?
Yes. Because during our research, we had a number of people we pinned down to communicate with. Because each season has its own people. Each season has its own team, has its own message.
Okay.
And this team, you were part of the people that can give us or give our audience what we exactly want. So before I continue with this, can you tell us a bit who is Gian?
Is
Romeo.
Jan, like Asamoah Jan.
Asamoah, okay, Jan.
Yes.
Jan, yeah, Jan Luca
But
Romeo.
that is, let's say that's, I'm not commonly called
Yeah.
like that. Mostly I'm KWAME,
KWAME
Romeo,
OBRONI.
KWAME OBRONI, and
Yeah.
so people say I'm too local, but honestly I don't care.
So
Because you know, I don't speak as I look, you
okay.
know. But, and I don't look like someone from here.
Of course.
You know, I don't look local, but honestly, I'm more local than you think because I spent basically half of my life here. I was very, very young. Okay. So here is where I grew up and became an adult. So basically, this is the world to me.
This is where you come from. This is where you belong.
This is the world. Simple. Not that I don't know anywhere else, but
yeah, but this is where...
this is my base. This is where I live.
Talking about you grew up from here, can we know a bit about your upbringing?
I had a, let's say, a shattered family. So my infancy, honestly, is nothing to write home about.
Wow.
So yeah, I stayed mostly with my mother, and my biological father has never been really around.
Okay.
Yeah, so I knew him when I was very small, but then he left when I was in primary.
Wow.
And so my godfather is a Ghanaian.
Oh, okay.
And to me, he's my father.
Sure.
That's all. So along the line, I grew up with that mindset that where you are, where you have the opportunity to build up, that's your home. And it's not an issue of saying make it your home. It is your home, whether you make it that or you don't. Because you know, people normally think that I can, you know, go back to where my roots are from,
okay.
any moment, and continue life. But that's not the way it works.
That's not the way it works.
That's
You're
not.
right. That's not the way it works.
It would be the same as putting you in a country you don't know nothing about.
Yeah.
You just know that is, geographically that's where it is.
Okay.
Okay? And you might know some few towns by name,
Okay.
or maybe because you've seen some few things about it,
Okay.
but that's all. And you might know the language. Okay, you speak English. Doesn't mean that London is your home.
You're right.
So you can go. If you think that you can go there and then start life any moment and then making it because maybe you have some roots there, be my guest.
You're welcome.
But you will come
You're
and tell me what I'm saying,
welcome.
what I'm telling you
Yeah.
now.
Being raised by a mom, how does it feel? By a single mom, how does it feel?
Troublesome.
Why do you say it's troublesome?
Depending on, my mom has never been healthy,
Okay.
totally healthy. Physically and as well as psychologically, it's complicated.
Okay.
So home was never a place for me to say, let me go home and rest.
And rest.
I'd rather rest at someone's home than my home.
Wow.
Because my home was never a place of rest.
Wow.
It was a place of unrest.
Oh.
So, and I grew up with that kind of environment until I was able to be on my own and, jumping from one place to another. And, one thing is also my religious upbringing,
Okay.
which now is, my religious life is totally different from the way I was brought
You were
up.
brought up, okay.
Okay. But my mom is a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, I see.
And so was my father until he left, and then he left us, and then I heard that later on he decided to come back, and then he was all over me that I should. It was like, he didn't look for me for like 20 years.
And
now what do you want me to do?
Wow.
Put that one aside. So, my mom for some years saw me as someone who chose to be an outcast.
Because you didn't want to believe in the things.
Because I didn't follow up.
Follow the way she
I didn't
wanted
follow
you to.
the church.
Oh, okay, because of the church.
Yeah, basically, yeah. That's it.
the way
There
it
is
is.
something about them as it is about some other denominations too, whereby if you are not one of them, the way they treat you becomes something else. Okay? I don't want to dig too much into that. Because the main point is, even though that was my upbringing for some years, when I grew up, I had like something was off. Just like religion mostly does, and that is a general thing. When you don't understand something and you'll be asking questions. The elders will be answering you as much as they can.
They can, yeah.
Okay? And then when you go over their limits, they will tell you to have faith and wait on God, and then the answers will come.
So,
Okay? Which never came.
Which never came.
Okay?
Yeah.
But I found them outside.
Okay.
So the answers were there, but they were not where I was.
Okay.
So I understood that I had to get out of the box, the box I was put in.
To get the answers that you needed.
Yes. Because religions have boxes, okay? And if someone decides to stay in one of those boxes, it's not a bad thing,
Okay.
okay? But I see it as be there, but keep the box open.
Open. Yeah, I quite understand where you're coming from, and I'm so glad we shed a little light about that. And Kwame, hearing your story, I know how pathetic all this can be. And growing up within it to still be who you are today is tremendously amazing. Because I've seen people who have lived their life blaming their parental mistakes on them. That the reason why they have not been able to move or to be what they want to be is because of this, of that. But no, you didn't choose that pattern. You choose to make a difference. And I'm so glad you are doing it in a very wonderful way. Yeah. Then looking at being as a white, should I use the word, or as a mixed race?
Feel free.
How do you deal with we? How do you cope with we? Yeah, I use the word we.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Well, you know, when you grew up in an environment, you don't really feel different
Okay.
at a point.
Okay.
You don't feel different anymore. And even though at the beginning it might have felt that way, but I never really felt it so strong. There are some people you meet along the way that you know, like to feel you that way. And I realized that the world around you is the reflection of what you are inside.
What you are inside, yeah.
So if you have inner issues, your world will suck. Because you suck in the inside.
Yeah.
But if you have peace within yourself, sometimes you might find some, you know, some bad elements
around,
that will be basically representing of the little dark sides of you that you still have. You just need to deal with it peacefully and move away.
Yeah.
But I never really felt a stranger here.
Yeah. So tell me, how do you juggle being a director, an actor, an entertainer? Because it's like you are all in one. How do you deal with it, and how do you cope? How can you describe each of this as in one person?
Well, I have the passion of making people smile.
Oh, okay.
So putting a smile on people's face has always been my passion, and I believe it is my soul mission. Some people who listen, they know what I mean when I say soul mission. And I discovered that a way to develop that passion is by developing another passion.
Okay.
That is acting. You know, when you act, you give out emotions.
Emotions, yeah.
So you actually stir emotions in the hearts of people. It could be happiness, it could be sadness. You can make people cry.
Yeah.
And people can like you because anytime they watch your content, they feel so moved.
Moved, yeah.
So it's two things. Even though it's 2.5 maybe, but the 0.5 is something I don't like. I will tell you why.
Okay.
But it's mainly two things. It's either you make people smile or laugh, but smile is general. Okay.
Yeah.
Laugh can be part of it.
Yeah.
So it's either you make them smile or you make them cry. In both ways, you get their hearts. They follow you.
Yeah.
The 0.5 is when you get them pissed off or angry. And people will also follow you for that. But that's not the type of following I want. So I don't want to get people angry or pissed off. Sometimes I may, because definitely, you know, not everyone likes you.
Yeah.
But making them smile is first and foremost.
Your priority.
Yeah. And secondly, if it's not smiling, to stir emotions in them. So it could be to get them emotional, viable.
You know,
So long as it means that what I do goes to their hearts.
hearts, yeah.
So
yeah.
no matter the reaction, it means that I catch
You are
the heart of
giving
those
a
who are
positive,
watching.
yeah.
So, and I started by acting.
All right.
But then I later developed more passions around it.
All right, Mr. KWAME OBRONI, we are going on a quick commercial break. When
Okay.
we'll come back, we'll continue where you stop.
It's fast. It's deadly insect. It makes the whole family unrest, especially at night. But worry no more, cause the revolutionary Abro Super Blast Mosquito Spray. It travels fast, works fast, and with a very good fragrance, accommodating mild and tender smell. That's Abro Super Blast Insecticide Spray. Distributed by Coast Ghana Limited, Spinters Road, Motorway, Accra, Ghana. Abro, trusted name worldwide.
from all indication, I understand that acting is very, very difficult. And from your explanation, sometimes you make people smile, sometimes you make people sad, sometimes you make them feel a bit moody. But then your own, you prioritize on making people happy.
Yeah.
Right. Have you rejected any script based on the content?
A few times, very few times.
Reasons?
Sometimes I take into account the image that people will have of me. And you know, sometimes some of our followers or fans, especially those of a certain age rate and background, sometimes they struggle to see the difference between fiction and reality.
Realities, yeah.
And I'm not blaming them, but it is what it is. And it happens in the Western world as well.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Sometimes the way people can get so much involved with telenovelas as if those people were real.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do something that people will see as that maybe will not hate me, but they may dislike me. Okay. And I once rejected a script in which I was supposed to play the part or the role of a gay man.
Okay.
And taking into consideration how it is viewed here, I said no.
Okay.
And you know something? If I hadn't been white, probably I would have accepted it because the common perception is it is the white man who brought gayism in Africa.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be one of those.
You're right.
Or I don't want to be seen as one of those.
You're right.
And also, something that a role that I don't accept anymore is slave master.
Okay.
Whenever
It's
there is
very
a slavery story or whatever, I don't want it. I don't want people to see me covering that role anymore.
Why?
For the same reason why a lot of, let's say, black American, black British, or with African roots actors out there also don't want to cover the role of slaves anymore. Recently, there was the African Cinema Summit at the Mervyn Peak.
Okay.
And the guest of honor was Idris Elba.
Okay.
And one of the things he said was that he once rejected a role, and that it was at the beginning of his career. So someone might have thought, at that moment, at that particular time, it's the beginning, you accept almost everything.
Okay.
So that you stay in the game.
Stay in the game, yeah.
He refused because it was the role of a slave. I said, I don't want to play the slave anymore. Anytime there is a film about Africa, even Beast of No Nation, which he played, and he said, I love Beast of No Nation, but I'm not proud of it. He said it for all of us, we heard it.
Okay.
Why? Because if it's not slavery, it's war.
War.
And these are the two only scenarios. Anytime a Western production makes a movie about Africa, it is about
the only thing
one
that
of the
they
two.
can.
Why? It's high time that in Africa, we bring out African contents for what Africa really is.
really is, yeah. Because it seems we are projecting the negative part, which
All
is not
the
doing
time.
so well, yeah.
So it's time that we make our own narrative, the real one, and we put it out there.
Out there, yeah.
And he is one of the actors that is even willing to collaborate.
I would be so happy if that is done. And I have a very serious question for you, being a director. Have you people considered censoring some of these foreign movies coming in? Because I can assure you, even in my house, there are movies you can't watch in my house.
As a director, I can have a say. I can tell you my opinion, but I cannot influence
the decision for such.
Exactly, because I happen not to belong to that authority or that core authority that dictates what comes in and what does not.
Okay.
But I can tell you.
But do we even have any authority that dictate that in Africa, especially here in Ghana?
I wonder. We have the film authority, but I stand to be corrected.
Okay.
as far as I know, the film authority is concerning local contents. You bring it to them for your content to be vetted and approved, or to be basically to be classified. So maybe like 18 plus or parental guidance, okay? But I don't know if their jurisdiction also concerns foreign contents coming in. If they can act as a filter to, you know, make sure that what is not supposed to be consumed here doesn't get in. I don't know about that. Okay. But here too, we need to stop a certain narrative. That is, portraying the local spirituality as evil. And always painting the church as the hero who always cast out demons, which honestly, in reality, it never happens.
Obroni, let's go on a commercial break. When we
All
come
right.
back, we'll continue.
It's fast. It's deadly insect. It makes the whole family unrest, especially at night. But worry no more, cause the revolutionary Abro Super Blast Mosquito Spray. It travels fast, works fast, and with a very good fragrance, accommodating mild and tender smell. That's Abro Super Blast Insecticide Spray. Distributed by Kuscharich Ghana Limited, Spinters Road, Motorway, Accra, Ghana. Abro, trusted name worldwide.
All right, so welcome back from the commercial break. We are still with Kwame Obroni. Kwame, your narrative is so amazing. I wish we can go on and on and on and on, but then because of our time, I wanna ask you a question.
Okay.
Probably can be able to summarize so many things for us. How did you get into the movie industry? How was your struggle? What were your challenges? Were you able to beat the code and be where you are today?
Well, acting has always been my passion, like
Okay.
I said earlier. And I started on stage
Oh, stage drama?
back in school.
Wow.
And I had a couple of opportunities to do stage. And my last stage performance was at Ghana Most Beautiful. I was playing a colonial, but I wasn't actually the master. I was just one of the officials.
Okay.
Okay. But then I've been doing mostly TV and movies.
Okay.
And it's never been really difficult. But one of the challenges that I always faced, and to date, it's a bit of a challenge sometimes, is to get paid. In the beginning was to get paid.
Okay.
And then later move to getting paid well.
Wow.
Okay, because let's say those who have actually contributed to the downfall of their industry are also the ones that don't like paying their artists. And it's not just me. There are a number of local artists that complained bitterly about local directors and producers not paying them.
well.
And some of them, they go and make it in Nigeria and come back.
Okay.
And sometimes they even go independent, like they
their
become
own,
independent
yeah.
filmmakers. I know a few of them, and I respect them a lot.
For making that decision, right?
Yes. I mean, go where it helps you. And obviously, you're not going to forget home. You always come back. And you know, all of them, they come back and bring what they got here
Here.
in a bid to improve their world.
Okay.
That's the final, you know, in the end, that is always what everyone should be aiming at. And so at first, the problem was getting paid, okay, because of this tendency of, you know, using you and you know, trying to skip the pay. The excuse will be like, oh, I was expecting some money, but it didn't come. Get this and then for your car. Well, it's a long story. And to date, it is sometimes challenging to get to be, you know, to get paid properly.
So till now, there's still that challenge of being.
There is still that challenge, and I'm not the only one facing it. And it's one of the reasons the local industry is not going, is not pushing harder. They will complain that they need funds, they need this, they need that, but they are the same ones that when they get any connection, any help from maybe from outside or from even from local people who are willing to put their money in, they are the ones wasting it.
Yeah.
They waste it. I've seen it so many times. I've seen casting agents sometimes pricing up. Mr. A takes this, Mr. B takes that, Mr. C takes this, and literally scraping like maybe 20 or 30% off each of the pays or the people on the payroll. This guy goes on with probably 50 grand in his pockets, Ghana cedis. And all of the actors get paid coins. Some people can get some.
And
I've seen things that I don't like talking about, but some people can even scrape almost as much as 40%.
And with all this, you have been on this journey till now.
Yes, because those are the challenges.
And life move on. You have to keep going.
Yes, it's either you do it or you don't.
You don't.
And the bid is to create an environment which I believe eventually we will be able to do it.
Kwame OBRONI, can I ask you, have you at any point, even during your childhood experience and this challenging in Gollywood, wanted to quit or say, no, I'm not going to do this anymore? I don't think I can cope. Has there ever been a time like that in your life? And how were you able to deal with it?
There were times in which I was like, not actually quitting, but like, let me go get a job so that I can support myself and not rely too much on something that is so unstable. But sometimes I migrated from maybe a certain job that I was doing, trying to do a full immersion into the media. And as of now, it's all I do.
Okay.
But because now I've also enlarged my job spectrum.
Okay.
Because I do acting, but I also do production. Like we undertake music video, documentaries and that stuff. I'm an editor myself. So we do a bit of everything. But at first, acting was the only thing I knew. So I really had to do something. So there was a time that my acting career was almost down to zero because I had to work and didn't have much time, sometimes no time, to do what actually my passion was.
Okay.
But eventually, if you don't follow your passion, if you don't chase it, it will chase you.
Okay. If you don't chase it, it will chase you.
It will chase you.
Not that it will leave you.
It will even hunt you.
Okay.
It will even hunt you.
Oh, wow.
We have a group of foreigners. We are like 15, 20 members, but let's say maybe 5 of us are really active. And they are, foreigners coming from various countries who lived here for some years and they have a passion for acting. And the funny thing about almost each and every one of us is that they had that passion maybe back in school time or back in the past in their country of origin, and they couldn't pursue it. Now they are here, and production sometimes are chasing them.
I'm so happy we are hearing a lot from you, seriously, Kwame OBRONI, because from the angles we've known you, I had no idea you were this so in-depth into the industry, and I'm glad that we are doing it. So, but then we are coming a bit to the end of the interview, but there were things we had to do. There are things that have become our norms and part of our way of ending our show. And that will be, you see the card here? There's a card in front. You have to do a sorting out and read it out and give us an answer.
Okay. I hope they don't ask me to dance. That's something I can't do. Maybe eggs.
Okay, you have to read it out.
If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be? Maybe eggs.
Why?
I love eggs. I love eggs, and it's a food that contains basically everything apart from vitamin C.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's a complete food. It's a superfood.
All right.
I could live on that.
All right. Thank you so much, and thank you for being on our set today, and we're so grateful. And do you have any message for your fans? People like us have admired you for this long. Do you have any message for them?
Keep following your passion. Keep following your passion. Do it as much as you can until take it further as you can, but don't expect any outcome. Do it for the passion, not for the results.
So glad. Well, you can call it Christmas hamper.
Yeah, kind of.
Thank you for coming on our show.
Thank you for calling.
So